opening of the Oldham County Code Enforcement Board meeting for Wednesday, December the 6th, 4 p.m. We're going to start with, thank you. We're going to start with all those that need to be sworn in from staff. If you will do that, please.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give this board is true and accurate to the best of your belief and knowledge?
Yes, you do.
Thank you.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask for the approval of the minutes. Have the minutes been reviewed?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes.
A second.
Okay, we have a second for the minutes to be approved. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, the minutes have been approved.
Just for the moment, you're part of the quorum, so you do have to vote.
I did.
Okay.
Ready for our first case?
We are.
So our first case is citation number 728, 3505 Hawthorne Court, LaGrange, Kentucky. The owner on record is Martha T. and David W. Kent. This hearing was not requested. This is the general location of the property. This is a violation of the Oldham County nuisance ordinance. You all have seen this case in the past, bringing it back up on I believe this is the third citation. You all issued a final order on November the 1st for citation number 717. He did come in and pay the citation number 698 on September the 6th in the amount of $150. Citation number 717 in the amount of $250 has not been paid. In the final order, there was 3 vehicles that remained on the property. 2 of them were licensed and registered. The other one was an antique, and he was deciding on what to do with it. The front of the house had been cleared of vegetation, but the side yard did remain in violation due to the overgrowth of the vegetation. You all issued to continue to issue monthly citations until the property was in compliance at that time, at the last hearing. These are some pictures taken October the 30th of 23. As you can see, the front of the house, it's been cleaned of the vegetation. The left side, those are the vehicles that were still in question with a little bit of the junk. This is the right-hand side that still needs the bamboo cleared away from the property line, 8 to 10 foot off of the property line at a minimum. Citation number 728 was issued on November the 2nd for failure to comply with the final order that the code board issued on September the 6th to issue monthly citations. This is the copy of citation number 728. I know it says 717, but it's 728. This is where I posted it on the door on November the 3rd at his residence. This is the current condition as of December the 4th. Again, the front of the property looks pretty good. The left-hand side, you can still see the vehicles. Nothing's really changed. And on the right-hand side of the property, the right side, the vegetation still needs to be cut back and removed from the property. He did come in today, contacted me yesterday, came in today with a signed agreement to hire someone to remove the bamboo. He wanted me to ask you all, I've got a copy of that here. I just got it today. You don't have that in your packet. He asked, I did contact the company. They said that they do have an agreement. They're planning on beginning December the 11th. Figuring it's going to take them 2 to 3 days to have it cleaned up. He did ask me if you all would suspend this monthly citations and give him, since he's got this signed, to get it done. That's the end of the case.
That's the only thing that's left on that one?
I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry, that's the only thing that was left on it, was this?
Pretty much just to remove the bamboo along the right-hand side of the property. And he does have the citations. The $250 citation that you all did enforce was not paid. And then this citation would be a $400 citation. I would be issuing another citation today based off the photographs that were taken on December the 4th for the monthly citation. I did not issue that considering I was coming to the code board today, and he asked me to suspend those monthly citations. But he is currently due for another monthly citation today, this week.
Did he say anything about removing that antique car?
We didn't discuss much about the vehicles. I did tell him he needs to clean up down there.
Right.
I didn't get any response. The antique car does not need to be removed if he's willing to come in, and it's a $25 permit that he can get to have an antique vehicle on the property that he's going to restore. I think it has to be covered or enclosed, so he would have to put a cover on it and pay a $25 antique. The debris that's laying up against the sides of the car, there's not a whole lot there, just a little bit that he would have to move and put inside the garage.
So you're asking us to suspend the next citation at 400?
Do what?
You're asking us to suspend the next citation at 400?
He asked me
Yes.
to ask you all to suspend to suspend the monthly citations and give this guy a chance to go out there and get it cleaned up.
Can you go back to that thing that he signed?
To the what?
The document that he signed saying that he would do it? He would have that.
I do have a physical copy here, if you want to.
Does it mention who's doing it?
It's got a name on the top. I couldn't make it out. I did contact them with the phone number that was on there.
Okay.
Homerama's Friendly Hardworks LLC. I did contact the phone number. The gentleman said that he did have an agreement with him and that he was planning on starting on December the 11th, weather permitting, figuring it would take him 2 to 3 days.
I'm okay with suspending the fine as long as he's getting it done. The one that we gave him still stands, right?
The 250.
250.
That one stands. The $400 citation that we're here today for is the citation you need to decide on for
Right.
the previous month. Because that citation was issued a month ago for not complying. There would be a citation that would be issuing today that you all wouldn't see till the next code board hearing for the month of November. The citation that you're seeing today was basically for the month of October,
Right.
not having it done, which was a $400 citation.
Well, I think I'm okay with suspending them as long as that work gets done on the 11th, which means we would need a motion that if it's not in compliance by our next meeting, which is January, right?
So I would like to say, we will not be meeting in January.
Okay. So it'd be February. If it's not in compliance when we meet again in February, then we could reinstate the fines.
Before you make that motion, I would just wonder if it's not a possibility to go ahead and prepare the citation and hold that amount in abeyance if he completes it by the time he's supposed to get that done. Can that be done? No,
Essentially, you're saying issue it but not necessarily collect the fine. If you were going to do that, I would say go ahead and issue it, but hold the fine in abeyance to make sure it gets cleaned up.
That's what I was trying to say.
Next week, yeah.
I just had something in my mouth and I couldn't get it out. So that's just what I'm discussing. I can't make the motion, so.
And I would say that they wouldn't suspend the monthly citations, right? Because if it's 2 months before we meet again and it's still not done next month, then I would see getting another. So I would say holding this one in abeyance, and if he's in compliance, then obviously there is no issue with the citation.
Okay,
But still hold him to it for the next couple of months.
okay, Mike, what,
Can you make the motion?
I make a motion that we issue the citation and for the December 4th finding, and then we hold the fee in abeyance until we can see that this has been completed by the end of the month. And if not, we would continue to issue citations monthly.
We have a motion on the floor to issue the citation, to hold the balance in abeyance, and then continue monthly citations if it's not cleaned up. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second.
Can I just get a clarification? You're not actually holding the previous citation in abeyance? The $250? This is only for the December.
The December. Sorry, we
Is that
will,
what you intended?
That is what I intended, yes, sir.
So
it's the
I've got to
November.
ask, so the citation you're seeing today, the $250 one you all ruled on last month, said he owes that.
Yes.
Today's citation is a $400 citation. Are you holding
Well, that's-
this citation
That's what
in
I'm
abeyance?
asking.
That's the
I
intent.
want clarification that it's for this new one that you will issue only.
Yes, issuing continue and issue the citation from, that's where it's in front of us. Hold that fee in abeyance until we see the work completed. If it's not completed by the end of the month, obviously that becomes due, and then we issue a new citation.
This is the November citation.
No, the new one.
The December 4th.
The he's saying, hold this one I haven't issued yet in abeyance, but you all are ruling on a citation I haven't wrote yet.
I recommend that when the board considers a citation that's been issued by the officer, that the language be that the board uphold the citation. Just to clarify that the officer issues a citation, the board upholds it if the property owner is found to be in violation. So we're using the word issue, I think, for two different purposes, and that's why I would rather use the word uphold for the board action.
Okay,
And it's my understanding the previous months, we have already ruled and upheld the previous month. So that's not one that I was considering. My motion is to issue the citation from the evidence that was observed on December 4th and then hold that fee in abeyance until it can be cleaned. Because the question to us is, should he issue the fine?
I don't think we can't have a hearing on a citation that hasn't been issued yet. So you've heard evidence, I think, from a day in November. Is that correct?
Correct. So the citation that you all are viewing today was the citation that was issued on November the 2nd. So you are ruling off of a citation that I issued November the 2nd for the property, what it looked like in September. In September, I looked at the property. I issued the citation on November the 2nd. So that's the citation that's in front of you all today. It's a $400 citation because the property was in violation in September,
okay.
October. I'm going to be issuing a citation this week for the month of November, which you all will hear in February.
So I think that's causing us some confusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Do
is
I
causing
understand
confusion.
that there is a fine for
$250.
250 and 400, and he's getting ready to get a new one?
Correct. He would be
That's the
getting
one that we've made a motion to.
The 400 one has been written.
Yes. The one that you're looking at today, citation 728, is his third citation. It's a $400 citation. That one's already been written.
So
He's got two citations.
He's got three.
We're getting ready to get this new one, which is where we've made this motion that we want to hold in abeyance till he gets it cleaned up.
Correct. So the question is, do I continue to issue monthly citations? If so, I will continue to issue them. You will see the new citations next time we meet. This citation, how do you all want to rule on the $400 citation? Does he owe that $400 for the month of September?
Well, if I can interject, it sounds as though the interest is in issuing a citation dated December 4th, let's say. And you can't, like Matt just said, you can't take any abeyance action on it in February, he'll come back with the December one and decide whether it was cleaned up next week or not, and then make a recommendation.
I see.
That's moving forward. In the past, you've already made decisions that resulted in the two citations that Adam is explaining. One is for $250, the other is for $400. But the bottom line is the property's not cleaned up.
Have you, can you hold off on giving him the December citation?
That's
We have to
that's
make
what
that
he asked
decision.
for me to ask you all to do, not to give that one.
We have to make that
Okay.
decision because we said
Okay,
weekly.
Monthly.
Monthly. You said
so
monthly.
we need a motion to suspend the monthlies.
If, if I write a citation in December, he will not owe that money until I come back to the board and you all say, yes,
Right.
we think he owes it.
Right.
So if I write a citation in December and January, and then in February we meet and you all say he got it cleaned up, we're not going to make him pay those two.
Well, but don't confuse it, because you may not issue one in January if he's cleaned it up. You're only dealing right now with December.
So,
And the question of whether you want to continue to issue monthly citations because it's not in compliance, period. So your question, Mike, about whether you should issue one in December, my recommendation is yes, because you've already decided months ago to fine monthly until it's cleaned up. And to now just go, well, let's stop doing that, when in fact he has two citations that have not been paid. And the property's not been cleaned up.
if we put a pin in the December one and we focus on citation 728, my motion is that it was properly issued on November 1st to the owner of the property. And can I continue that on for the rest of the
Well,
items?
we have a motion on the floor that we need to either rescind, because we started with,
Yes, I rescind the first one. Sorry, my fault.
okay,
But now he's made a new.
okay, so give me your new motion.
That the citation 728 was issued properly on November 1st to the owner of the property.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, this motion carries.
I'd like to make a motion that this violation was observed by the officer, and there's substantial evidence in the record that the violation was permitted to exist, and that the condition of the property is detrimental to the property of others and causes or tends to cause substantial diminution to the value of other properties.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor with a nuisance ordinance. Do I have a second?
Second?
Okay, we have a second. I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor, please speak up. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay.
Madam Chair, forgive my tardiness. I spent the last few minutes catching up on this. And I go back, if I'm redundant in some things that have already been said, please excuse me, but I go back, we've been dealing with this one since June, and then again in September, and I think we've been pretty cooperative. I make a motion that the November citation be upheld, and that monthly citations continue.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor that the November continues, that monthly citations continue. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay. Do we need to do this over fine? No. Because it's a standard. Automatic fine, okay. Okay, let's move forward.
So our next case is citation number 718, 7000 Star Barn Lane, Crestwood, Kentucky. The owner on record was Prestige Builders. This hearing was not requested. This is the general location of the property in question. This is a violation of the construction site runoff ordinance. This is a notice of violation and referral for citation from the Oldham County Engineering Office. This is a copy of the citation that was issued on September the 14th of '23. This is a notice of compliance that was issued by the Oldham County Engineering Office on November the 21st of '23. A little bit of history. Inspection and referral for citation on September the 11th. The citation was issued on September the 14th. The citation was paid with the receipt on October the 31st. A notice of compliance was issued on November the 21st, and this case can be closed out.
Okay, we need to make a motion to do that? We just vote. Okay. Okay. There's nothing to talk.
These next couple ones are going to pretty much be the same way. Citation number 729, 4807 Sycamore Ridge Lane, LaGrange, Kentucky. The owner on record is BC Homes, LLC. This hearing was not requested. The general location of the property in question. This is a violation of the Construction Site Runoff Section 7 ordinance. This is a copy of the notice of violation and referral for citation from the Oldham County Engineering Office. This is a copy of the citation that was issued on November the 9th. A notice of compliance issued by the Oldham County Engineering Office on November 29th. And the proof of receipt that was paid on December the 4th. Citation 730, 4902 Sycamore Ridge Lane. Owner on record, BC Homes LLC. General location of the property. Violation of the construction site runoff ordinance. Notice of violation and referral for citation from the Oldham County Engineering Office. Copy of citation number 730 that was issued on November the 9th. Notice of compliance issued on December the 1st. By the Oldham County Engineering Office. The citation was paid on December the 4th of 2023. Citation number 731, 4904 Sycamore Ridge Lane. The owner on record is Pennington Ricky and Betty Pennington. This hearing was not requested. The property is being developed by BC Homes. This is a general location of the property. Violation of construction site runoff, Section 7. This is a notice of violation and referral for citation from the Oldham County Engineering Office that was sent to BC Homes, LLC. This is a copy of the citation 731 that was issued on November the 9th to BC Homes. A notice of compliance issued by the Oldham County Engineering Office on November the 21st. And the citation was paid on December the 4th by BC Homes. And that's think that does it for the cases. So now we'll be going to some follow-ups on some of the older cases. So under old business, we have 7401 Hemlock Avenue that we saw last month. In the final order, you all had me suspend the monthly citations. You did require them to do 3 things coming in today: to have all the metal tires and debris that was located to the left side of the garage to be removed from the ground, to move the trailers and spread the gravel and stone that was in front of the fence, and to cut the overgrown vegetation that was located behind the fence, and to return to the co-board today, and they are here. So you have a copy of the final order in front of you all. So I did go out there. Here's a few of the pictures that I took on December the 4th, so this past Monday. On October the 25th, the picture here you see, the picture to the left was taken October the 25th. This is the left side of the garage. When I went out there Monday, I took a picture of the left side of the garage. As you can see, the snowplow still sitting there, the metal that's stacked up, and then I couldn't see too well what was up closer to the front of the garage due to the trailer that was parked in the yard. But you can see that metal was still there. The gravel in the front of the fence, it was leveled out. There was no trailers parked on it. You can see the picture that was taken October the 25th with the trailers, and there was actually several piles of gravel there. When I went out there on Monday, the gravel was smoothed out. There was none of the all the trailers had been removed, but the trailers did appear to be parked in the front yard instead of in that gravel area. The vegetation behind the fence, the picture on the left is the vegetation over top of the fence. You can see that it was well overgrown. When I went out there on Monday, it appeared that it had mostly been all cut back. It looked a lot better back there as far as the growth of the vegetation, so that was done. The gravel was spread. The left side of the garage still needed to be cleaned up. I don't feel that part of it was done, of the 3 things. These are some other pictures that I took. So in the front yard, the picture here to the left, the red truck with the black hood that was parked in the front yard, this was one of the trucks from the previous pictures that I had been showing that was parked behind the fence all the time. They moved it from behind the fence, and now it's parked in the front yard beside their driveway. The trailers being parked in the front yard, as you can see, there's 2 trailers right there parked in the front yard. That was taken on Monday. This is a constant ongoing problem with the property. The picture here on the left was taken Monday. There's vehicles parked. This is the same picture of the 2 different vehicles, one of them kind of looking up in between the fence and one of them looking down the road. Both of these vehicles are parked in the right-of-way, right up against the roadway. The red truck you can see is kind of parked in the yard again, near the right-of-way, and then the black truck parked right there in front of the fence with the trailer up on it. Temporary parking is one thing, but constantly parking in the right-of-way is something else. These are what can be seen. The picture on the left was more of a close-up picture of what can be seen from the roadway. They have a fence that runs across the front. Let me page up. If you put right here to the picture to the right, you see that gap in the fencing where the trailer is. When you're driving down the road, you can look between that fencing. And when you look through the fencing, you can see what's inside of this carport area. So the picture on the left was kind of a close-up to show you what you can see from the road, even though I'm looking at it over the fence because the truck was in the way. And then the picture to the right is me looking through that fence gap. As you can see, there's quite a bit of debris and stuff that's piled up that can constantly be seen from the street, along with some debris that's laying along the fence area. This is something I think needs to be concentrated on in this next month. Once again, the picture on the left is showing in front of the fence where he had leveled everything out. The picture of the right is more of a close-up of what you can really see that's laying around. there's a lot of just general pickup needs to be done in that area. You've got blocks of wood, cans, just, trash that area needs to be, kept clean. It's kind of an eyesore when you're driving down the road and you look to the right and you see blocks of wood and everything just scattered out in that gravel area. And these are the pictures that I've taken. I know they're here to come up and talk. Like I said, I feel like as far as the final order, they did do two of the things. They spread the gravel and they cut the vegetation down. They did not clean up the left side of the garage. And I feel that going forward, some things need to be taken care of. The area right here, this needs to be cleaned up inside under that carport. The front of the fence needs to be cleaned up with the trash and the debris. And the parking of the trailers and the vehicles being parked in the yard, there's actually an ordinance that you can't park there. You must be parking in a gravel or a driveway area, and you cannot continuously park in a right-of-way. If he's going to have the number of trailers that he's got, he needs to be parking them. I know we've talked to him about having to have the trailers registered. If he's going to have that number of trailers there, instead of just constantly pulling them in the front yard, he should be parking these behind the fence, out of the right-of-way, not in the front yard. Something that, going forward for the next month, those three things for him to concentrate on. So if you have any other questions about this property.
Can you see what's behind the fence? Is there anything behind it
So
other than that shelter?
if you look at, go up, look at this picture right here, the one right there on the right. There's definitely a red truck back there. There's actually a gate, what appears to be a gate right here in the center. So there's a gate right there. So it looks like there's a red truck right there. There used to be other vehicles back here. I believe he has removed those. So I think he has cleaned up back here. I'm not sure what this is right here, other than possibly another vehicle. I'm not sure what that is. But if he's going to have, like I said, I think he's got several trailers. Those should be parked back here, not in the front yard. Okay. It's an idea of when you drive down the road, you don't want to see a front yard full of trailers and equipment, snowplows, bobcats. They may all be for personal use, but he needs to keep them out of the front yard and preferably in a garage or something like that, but at least behind this fencing area so that when you drive down the road, that's not what you see scattered all throughout the yard. And like I said, they are here if you want to talk to them.
Thank you. Do you wish to come up and speak? I need you to come up. I need you to raise your right hand. Your name, please. Are you both going to speak?
I'm going to speak.
You're just two. Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give this board is true and accurate to the best of your belief and knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, the picture of the snow. The picture of the snow plow that was taken on the 4th, which was what day? Monday? Okay. My son came home Monday evening from work and worked in the dark with that bobcat there that was brought home to do work with so he could shine lights. And this, if you can see, is the picture of the plow is gone. It's no longer sitting there. And
We're not seeing it. Hold on.
Just wait a second.
Oh, okay.
Put it
And
back,
all right.
down there. Yeah, maybe take those papers out of
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking, the papers.
Turn around, please.
Okay. That's a carport going up. The debris we had laying there was a carport that was going to be put up. It just never had been started yet. Now it's being started. That pile you see there is a burn pile. We just put wood in it, and my grandkids come over, and when they do, we have kids sit out in the yard and have a burn pit, whatever. But the plow is gone. Everything's gone, except, like I said, we're working on having that. That's the only thing left. We're putting the carport up. And that, what he was talking about in the driveway, was on the truck, that Bobcat, that comes, like I said the last time before, that comes and goes. My husband works. That don't always stay there, and it is going to come and go because he works. And might be there today, might not be there tomorrow. As far as the other stuff, down at the end of the yard where we cleaned up in front of the fence, the truck that was in the driveway, that's all licensed, registered. We paid dearly. Insurance, every one of them vehicles. The red one, we pay license tags. We pay over $3,000 a year to tag this stuff. I have insurance on my phone. They can come and go out of my driveway anytime they want to. And as far as that goes, I was at his residence about a week ago. He has 2 trailers in his yard. So, like I said, that stuff is not always there. And we did, and the vegetation, well, he said that we did clean up most of it. What you see in the back, that's all woods. That starts from the end and the very back of our gated area. The very back of that, we do not own. That's my neighbor. And it starts from the end of my property all the way down to my house, what you can see. We don't own that. And as far as that other carport goes, that he's concerned about, that he can't even tell what it is, unless you get up in there. For one, you shouldn't be up in there nosying in my stuff anyway. And my neighbors ride by and don't even pay attention to what I have. They said they wasn't concerned at all because I got pictures on here of how bad theirs is, and they haven't moved a thing. Many pictures of my neighbors. And if all of y'all would like to take a ride with me in my car to my neighbor's house, my others, mine don't come close to the trash that's in there. And I invite y'all to come look. I'm just tired of being harassed. I mean, every day I got a whole stack that thick, papers. Elkins. What about the man next door? Them boats, trailers, 5 trailers, a stack of wood that high. What about all that? Ain't nothing been moved. What you done about that? Nothing. Been going on since June.
Okay. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
No. Let me see. Would you like to see some neighbors' pictures?
No.
You
No,
don't? Okay.
We're just
But
gonna
like I
follow
said,
yours.
everything that I have, we cleaned up, did what we were supposed to. Oh, and that carport that he's concerned about, that he don't know what it is, we are putting a tarp on front of it. So he won't be able to see that and get up in there and stand on his truck and what all that my neighbor says that he does, eyeballing over the fence.
Is there,
But there's nothing over the fence. It's all
is
been
there a
cleared out.
reason why you can't park those trailers back behind that fence?
We are, but as you noticed the last time, the red truck that was behind the fence, the last time we was here, he kept saying he couldn't exactly see what it was. And that truck that you seen that was moved to the front of my yard now, because it's getting ready to go, like I told y'all before, that's my grandson's truck that it's going to be a project for him to work on.
One of the things we asked you to do was move the trailers.
Yes, out of the front of that.
But it looks
Thing.
like if you could move them behind the fence,
Yes.
all of us would be satisfied
Yes.
with that.
And-
So I'm asking you, can you move
Yes.
those trailers behind the
Yes,
fence?
we can.
That looks like a nice cleaned, now that you've cleaned all that
Right.
vegetation.
I can't put them behind the fence, it won't fit behind the fence. How come you don't put his behind his fence?
What do you mean, the
He's got
double
them in front
doors?
of his yard, he got them in front of his yard, 2 trailers back to his yard. He ain't no different than me.
The two, you talking about the open gates?
Talking about the box trailer.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, does it fit?
You don't have to have tags in Kentucky.
He's
Okay.
out of order. Please do not speak.
Okay, but yes, I'll get my son to take care of that.
Okay?
But,
It just seems to me, we've asked you to move the trailers. And
right,
It seems like you have a good spot over there to park the trailers. If you could just move them, you could satisfy this board. And it looks like you've done some of the other things.
yeah. But the thing about that trailer right there, that's used every day, pretty much every day. So,
I don't know how, never mind.
so as far as putting that there behind the fence,
It would satisfy this board if you could
Yeah.
park them behind the fence.
yeah. But the other trailer, the box trailer that you seen, that was pulled out, which that was not even a problem before, but that was pulled out because it was full of stuff. We were gonna have a yard sale, take it to the flea market. So he pulled that out and went and donated and just got rid of all the stuff that was in it. So it's empty now.
So that one can go in the back.
Huh?
That one can go in the back?
Yeah. But that, he says that one won't fit. But, I mean, we can neatly pull it up in the back, lined up neatly, but then he complained about that.
Well, can I say that I want to recognize and say that it's appreciated, that it's clear that you all have put forth effort. You've cleaned the bush, you've spread the gravel, you're putting up the carport that was on the ground, you're putting
Right.
it up. So I want to recognize that you guys are putting forth effort, and you all do come to these meetings. I think the main thing that wanting to work with you on is making sure that when we have a place for something that, like the colleague was saying, putting it somewhere so that it doesn't give the appearance of disarray.
Right.
I understand not being able to put it behind the fence. I don't know how wide that gate is right in front of it. But as far as what we asked you to do, I mean, technically we said move the trailers. We didn't say move them behind the fence. So we have that. You did technically move the trailers. You moved the stone. You're putting up the debris on the left side of the garage. So I think in my opinion, and I know it might be a lone opinion, you have, in my opinion, materially done what we've asked you to do. I do think that we have a ways to go. And it's my understanding that the area, not just your house, is an area of focus for the code enforcement department. So what you had mentioned, there was 3 more things that we wanted to do. Is that some?
I
Sorry.
was just going to ask the question because the item with the carport, with all the metal and the tires and all of those kinds of things, it was offered up to put a tarp up until they're in our notes as part of the additional things that we're still going to get done. A dumpster was coming in early 2024. Is that
Oh.
still happening?
A dumpster. I don't know.
Okay.
You've got that confused with another final
another one?
order.
Did I
Yeah,
get that confused?
that one's for a different property,
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
dumpster.
I'm sorry. I thought I read that. Never mind. My apologies. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's nothing else. All of that is gone. The plow is behind the fence. The metal laying there was, like I said, my carport that my son works from 7:30, well, he leaves about 7:30, 8 in the morning, and a lot of times he don't even get home till 9 o'clock at night. And he's comes home and been working on that. That's why it laid there for so long. But he's been coming home and working on it. Okay.
Thank you very much. We appreciate everything you've done so far. Thank you.
With the carport getting put up, that makes it to where the three things that you all ordered for the last co-board hearing, like I said, I was out there Monday, and that's what it looked like Monday. With the picture that she saw today, they would be in compliance with all three things that you requested for them to do last co-board. You all did, like I said, there were other things to continue moving forward to bring the property fully into compliance. And I would like to agree that they have done a lot since the first citation that I issued to them. Like I said, I think moving forward, the three things to concentrate on, and three things that she's already made suggestions on finding ways to fix it. The first one would be picking up the debris that was in front of the fence, which is just these little logs, which is, it's minor. Just go up there and keep that area clean. The second one is if they're going to put some type of a facial covering over this carport, like I said, that is something you can definitely see from the roadway. If they're going to put a front on that so that it becomes hidden storage, then that would be acceptable. You won't be able to see it. The one thing I would ask that they do when covering that front, if you can see in the picture right here on the right, between the trailer and the fence, make sure that up against that fence, all that debris and stuff that's laying around on the ground is just kind of picked up. I'm kind of talking about, all the little debris that's just kind of laying around. If they can pick that up, cover the front of the carport, and then not continue to park in what I would consider their front yard, which would be this area right here, which is basically their yard. This has become in the past, it was constantly full of equipment, trailers, and vehicles. If they can use this more for a yard and not for a parking area, it should not be used as a parking area and parking in the right of way. The reason why I showed the picture of the red truck was because, again, it's actually like right up in this area, so it was parked in the yard, not in the driveway, and you shouldn't be parking all throughout the yard. And that's what we want to kind of stop, and parking in the right of way, which would be the parking all through, all along the front of this road. This road is a thin road, so when they're parking trailers or big vehicles and they're coming all the way out by the road, it does get kind of tight for two vehicles to pass that area. So they do have quite a few vehicles up their driveway, up by their house. Those are all fine. If they want, they can park as many vehicles in their driveway as they want. And then if they can park the trailers behind that fence, as many as possible, and not park them in the yard. So I think those are the three things to concentrate on. The covering of the carport, the pickup of the trash and debris that's laying around, and not to park in the front yard or in the yard area and in the right of way.
I have a question for council. By definition, how is the right of way defined?
That's a great question, and it depends on what kind of road it is. Depends on, I think, how the road was built. It's going to be different for different roads. It's hard to say. I can't answer that question with respect to this road.
Well, they're all different, and those in Lake Louisville, we don't really know. We have an exact definition of what the right-of-way is, but it definitely is not, if it's asphalt, it's definitely right-of-way, and there's always some on the side of the road that's still right-of-way. We can find out, but I don't really know what it is. Those are old roads.
So it doesn't sound like a tremendous amount on this next tranche of the trucks trying to stay out of the yard, cleaning up that debris in the front, and then covering.
Yeah, this was today. It was all smooth out with the Bobcat. Well,
Looks like
can't tell it.
you're working ahead of the,
Leave it there, just wait for the machine, push it
Okay,
back
let me
up,
push.
there you go. Keep
Yeah,
going.
it's
No,
all-
turn it-
there's
turn it
nothing there.
around, it's upside down. Yeah, and slide
It's
forward.
kind of light, yeah.
looks like you're working ahead of the
There's-
curve on what we need, so
Yeah,
that's
there- yeah,
that's
there's
commendable.
nothing there.
Yeah. So we keep that way, you'll have the next tranche of that port already
Right.
completed, so that's a good thing.
Okay.
For what it's worth, I want to add that parking in the right-of-way is not an element of any of the ordinances that I know of that are before the board. So it may not matter.
So do we need to add the three more things
I think we
for
need
the
to-
next time? Do we need to make that in a motion of, so I make a motion that for the next hearing, that the debris in front of the fence, then yeah, so now you got two things, right? But we're going to say three, so you get credit for it, right? So you clean off the debris, to put a tarp in front of the carport to cover the items there, and work on, and the not parking in the grass.
What about all the people around us got trailers in their yard and all?
Well, there's one
I'm sorry.
issue with that is we
sorry?
can only deal with what's in front of us. Yeah,
Excuse me,
sorry.
He's not in order.
Oh,
He has not, so we shouldn't, I'm sorry.
I'm not on the road, he's on the road, loud about everything.
I'm sorry, but you are not.
You didn't stand up and get sworn in.
You didn't get
That's what
sworn
you're
in.
saying. You said you weren't going to speak, and now you're speaking from the chair, so just trying to keep it in order since you're speaking.
Okay, so Clayton, we have two items.
The three, the debris in front
Debris in
of
the front
the
of the
fence,
fence?
the tarp over the carport, and the no parking in the grass. Which I know is probably the hardest one out of that whole thing. But I think that'll go a long way to getting this cleared up.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to complete the next three items.
Second.
We have a second. I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, the motion carries.
So our next case is 1104 Joyce Court. At the last hearing, the board voted to uphold citation number 722. As of today, that fine has not been paid. You all voted to issue monthly citations until the property was in compliance. So as of now, he is due. I will be issuing a citation based off the visit yesterday, if you all still agree to go that route. So the vegetation had been cut back. The picture on the left shows that the majority of the vegetation on the property has been cut back. On the right, the vehicle that was in violation still needs to be moved. I did speak to the owners. They were in need of a title so that they could junk the vehicle out. They informed me yesterday when I spoke to them on the phone that they have ordered a title, but that they cannot junk that title out. So I guess the question for the board is to go ahead, do you want me to go ahead and issue the citation this month and then bring that to you within the next 2 months on whether or not they have removed that vehicle?
Is that the last thing they have to do?
That's the last thing they have to do. Once they get that vehicle removed, then the property is in compliance. They did quite a bit of trimming. More could be done, but in general, the property looked pretty good, other than having a vehicle that's broke down. It is in their driveway. So, do you want me to issue the citation or give them the time to?
I would like to give him time to get that title and get it junked.
Did they try to call a yard to have, usually they'll pick that up for free.
I think you still have to have the title.
Oh, he doesn't, I missed that
Yeah,
part.
they had to
Sorry.
order a duplicate
I
title.
missed that part, yep.
Do we need a motion for that?
Do. Did you say you wanted motion to
a motion to give them till our next board meeting to get the title and junk it.
Okay, we have a
Oh,
motion.
second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
So the next one is 7410 Peachtree. As of today, the fine of $150 has not been paid. You all issued the final order on this one back in March of this year. As of today, the property is still not in compliance, but the owner is close to completing a new septic lid. So here's a picture that I took 2 days ago, Monday. I did speak to Mr. Crawford. Mr. Crawford, and I spoke to him about 2 weeks ago. I took the picture 2 days ago. 2 weeks ago when I spoke to Mr. Crawford, he informed me that he should have this completed soon. I spoke with Charlie Ward of the Environmental Health Director of Oldham County Health Department. I did send him a copy of this picture. He said, although not an ideal fix, that this is a temporary solution to the problem by impeding the access to the septic tank. So kind of an update on where we're at on that. The $150 fine, I think where you all left it, you all didn't say, gave him 30 days to pay it, I believe is what you gave him. It hasn't, do you want to go ahead and file the lien on the property since it hasn't been paid? Where do y'all want to go? Go ahead and file a lien?
Well, he's clearly not going to pay it. I mean, he said since March 31st.
Correct.
Is that our next step? Is that our only next step?
I think additional citations might be available as a next step, but the lien is always available. Doesn't require the board's approval. It's a kind of a separation of powers issue, which is a theme that has been rolling around in my mind all afternoon. The board can take actions to protect the property owners and under the umbrella of due process, but telling the code enforcement officer what the next step should be is probably an executive decision that needs to be made outside of the board's presence by staff. So that would be my recommendation. But there's no legal reason why a notice of lien can't be filed with the county clerk based on the unpaid citation.
Well, but an option could be that if the board feels satisfied that it's finally done, they can forgive the fine based on the citation that was issued in the hearing that we had.
Yes. Yes, that could be considered a due process protection, and I don't think that would be challenged in court or anything like that.
So the options are leave it lie and we just go administratively and put a lien on the property, or forgive the fine or release them from the fine.
Right. I don't think anybody's going to object to that if that's what the board wants to do. If the board were to direct the code officer to issue a new citation, and then the property owner challenged it, it could be a problem because the code board doesn't have the authority to make decisions on when to bring people into the code board. The code board's role is to decide whether there's sufficient evidence to uphold the citations that are already written. So, but my advice has always been that if the board wants to give the benefit to a property owner, that I would not interject some kind of a separation of powers argument to prohibit that. Because I think it's better when a board decides to provide some relief that's different than the board making enforcement decisions that the code officer should be making with his supervisor.
I would like to say he's not done with it yet.
Okay, that's my next question.
The question of the board, because if we go back and listen and read again what Charlie Ward said, while it's not an ideal fix, it is a temporary solution to the problem. maybe we should move forward and know that there is a solution there. It's temporary, but there is a solution to the septic system. It's not the most perfect, and not necessarily give him more citations or go with a lien. That's just my outcome.
What does he have left to do? Does it put another piece of board on there?
Pour more concrete in that center section.
In
So
that
he
center
poured-
section?
Concrete
He
there?
poured the concrete on both sides, and he's got the center section, he's got the metal and the wire mesh there, and then he's still got to pour that concrete. The day that I took this picture, he said he had to wait for, let me rephrase that, 2 weeks ago when I spoke to him, or about a week and a half ago, he had poured the two sides, but he was waiting for them to cure and set
Right.
before he poured the center section.
Yeah, it looks like he's ready to go for the center section.
Yes, I believe
This is to prevent somebody from
Falling
accessing
in.
it. Yeah, falling in it, or is, this is a question for Charlie Ward then, is what is left to do? If it's not an ideal fix, is this still our issue, that the septic
No,
be working?
from talking to Charlie, I don't believe it would be an issue unless it fell in again.
So our issue with him is to get that, prevent public access to it
Correct.
only.
To where it's no longer a safety issue for the residents of Oldham County. And once he completes this, it will no longer be a safety issue for residents of Oldham County. There
Ma'am.
won't be a smell or anything like that.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we take no action on this and staff report back at their next meeting.
A second.
I like that, yeah. Cool.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Thank you.
The final update is for 7699 Catawba. You all have the final order in front of you. This is the property that had the trucks, the shed, the vehicles, and was supposed to get a dumpster by the end of May. So the picture you see on the list was taken October the 31st. Last time we were at the co-board, in the final order, you all gave him 90 days to have the shed removed. We came in on September the 6th, which was the 90 days, and he did show up, and he asked for an extension, and you all gave him another 30 days to have the shed removed, the trailer removed out of the front, and either the shed repaired or removed, no more dumping on the property, and to have the trucks removed. He did not complete that within the 30-day period. So I went out there 30 days later. I didn't write it down. I went out there 30 days later. I took the pictures. The shed was still there. There was a dumpster on site. The shed was there and the truck was there. I came back to the office. A couple days later, I wrote up the citation. When I went to deliver the citation, he did have the shed tore down, the trucks were removed, and that is these pictures. Everything has been cleaned up in that property. Like I said, there was a dumpster on site. When I talked to him to give him the citation, he said, look, I had to order a dumpster. I had to wait for the dumpster. Once I got it, I tore the shed down to put it in the dumpster. Can you go to the board? And so speaking to Jim, we decided not to issue that citation because he was like a week behind. So this is just kind of an update. He has complied with everything in the final order as of today, other than cleaning up the material that's on the side of the fence, which you all gave him until May the 1st of 2024 to have a dumpster to start removing that junk. So as of today, he's in compliance with all of that. And I would like to state that these last two cases are from the Lake Louisville area also. So that does it for today. And like I said, we will not have a co-board hearing for the month of November, in January.
Okay? Oh. Can she come up? We will let you work that out with Adam, because it'll be months.
February.
If they've got everything in compliance,
they don't come back.
Excuse me, if everything's in compliance, which, so if I go out there, and y'all gave them 30 days?
We get them to the next board
the
meeting,
next-
Okay,
which is
if
February.
if I go out there a week before I usually try to go out there a couple days before the co-board hearing. If I go out there and there's no vehicles parked in the yard, and I'm in the Lake Louisville area at least weekly, if there's not continuing to be trailers and stuff parked in the front yard, if he's in compliance with all of that, and the property's cleaned up, then I don't believe they would have to come back. If not, I do have y'all's number. I can let you all know what needs to be done and whether or not y'all need to come back.
And thank you, Adam. We appreciate
Yeah,
that.
that's cool.
Is there any other business before the board? Being no other business, we are closed, officially closed.